Okay, I've talked more about this remaster remake yesterday at their digital event, and from what I understand, it is mostly the same game, except they have overhauled the graphics for the most part, which are done in the Resident Evil engine now. And so far, from what I've seen, the two biggest changes in terms of core gameplay are the fact that you can move and shoot, and the fact that there are autosaves now. Because maybe for people who haven't played, or maybe for people who don't remember, Dead Rising 1 was pretty fucking hardcore when it came out. It was really hard. I remember people getting filtered back in the day, complaining online that the game was too hard. And I mean, indeed, it was quite hard because due to a number of factors. The fact that you started the game on level 0, so you were pretty weak, even in terms of moves, of life bar. Your speed was pretty low, so you had to level up quite a bit. And also the timer and the fact that you could only save inside bathrooms and so on. So the game was quite hard, and it only became a bit easier when you leveled up after multiple playthroughs. So it was pretty much almost impossible, I think, to complete on your first playthrough. Also because you really didn't know all the cases, where they were gonna take place and so on. So it was hard to manage the time on your first playthrough. But I think it was a game that was structured to be played multiple times. That was their intent. So these are the two biggest changes, aside from the graphics. And I mean, the graphics, I have to say, they look, in my opinion, they look ugly as fuck. The Resident Evil engine, I have personally never liked the Resident Evil engine because it makes things, mostly people, look like ass, honestly. Also, it's funny. He was moving and aiming at the same time, and his reticle stayed closed. If you do that in the Resident Evil remakes, the reticle becomes huge. Okay, whatever. Okay, Capcom. Well, yeah, I was saying. So the Resident Evil engine strikes again because also notice they put stairs there, because in the original there was a ledge that the survivors had to climb, and they will often get stuck. So their fix was to put a bunch of stairs instead of a ledge, so the survivors do not get stuck anymore. Hopefully, probably. But yeah, I was saying the Resident Evil engine. Look what they did to Jessie. She has a manjo now. Like, I just don't think the Resident Evil engine is fit for Capcom's games, because it makes people look too ugly. I don't like how Frank looks in this game. I don't like how Brad looks in this game. I don't like how Jessie looks in this game. The Resident Evil engine has been a disgrace in this sense. It makes everyone like 4 out of 5 characters look ugly in the Resident Evil engine, in my opinion. And I personally have to say that the empty framework, which was the previous engine, the one that they used, I think up until Resident Evil 6, I don't remember. But they used the engine in every game before Resident Evil 7. So that was peak the best engine they had, in my opinion, because it offered a good blend of realism, but also made the graphics pretty stylish. they still retain a little bit of video gamey style to them. Take, for example, Devil May Cry 4 and Resident Evil 5. The characters looked pretty detailed in those two games, but they didn't look too realistic. Unlike with the Resident Evil engine, they still looked like real people, just a little bit stylized, and that was the perfect balance, in my opinion. That didn't make things too realistic, but also didn't make them too, I don't know, let's say too video gamey, too anime. And it's a shame they dropped that engine, or at least they dropped it for most games, because they have started using the Resident Evil engine for everything. For example, the Resident Evil engine really doesn't fit Devil May Cry, in my opinion. The realistic art style doesn't fit that one. But yeah, I mean, so far, so the game seems... so, in terms of gameplay, aside from those changes, it seems relatively faithful. But I don't know, I've seen a few things that looked weird, like Frank passing through some zombies, like the collisions didn't look very good. In a snippet of the video I saw. So it's I don't know. It's weird in that sense. But yeah, and also they're doing their usual deluxe edition. So if you want to get extra costumes and all that, you have to buy the deluxe edition. Of course, you have to pay more. And the game comes out on September 19th, I think. They said there's an emergency launch, digital launch for the digital edition, but I don't know what they mean, honestly. In that sense, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But yeah, so what is there to say? I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I wanna wait and see what the actual extent of the changes is, the full extent of the changes. Also because they, like I said, they've covered up the cleavages and so on. So we'll see. We'll see what they actually do with this, with the whole package, not just with the gameplay. Because the gameplay seems to be relatively faithful, and that's not the problem. The problem is it's gonna be everything else that made the tone of the game. The things that are probably not gonna fly, especially with today's Capcom, which is an ESG company at this point. Because, for example, I've seen they've changed the butcher. The butcher was your stereotypical Chinese guy in the original, but now he's he looks like a Redditor with the Reddit face with the mouth open. I don't know. So yeah, I have to see what they do with the overall atmosphere, characters, and so on. So, but yeah, other than that, there's nothing else to say because they haven't announced anything else at this event. Yeah, they have said they are working on another Resident Evil. Oh well, no shit. Everybody knows they're working on Resident Evil 9. So, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, and as usual, like, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.